Hi there. It's great to have you back on my CryptoQ Media channel. The United States isn't the only country seeing major shifts in cryptocurrency regulation at the moment. A multi-pronged attack on the Bitcoin market is being spearheaded by the SEC and other regulatory bodies. But they're not alone. As I've said before in Operation Choke Point 2.0, we must also highlight Ripple because, as one of the few companies to have actually fought the SEC, they seem to have come out on top, so, we will discuss this. More than a year has passed since August 30th, 2023, the date I have repeatedly mentioned, and the SEC has continued to hoard their Bitcoin losses. There has been no let-up in the losses since then. We will go over the fact that the SEC is still battling cryptocurrency, despite their concessions on major initiatives like Ethereum. But I felt forced to bring this up again since, yes, he has been losing a lot of money over the last, 12 months or so. Also, we started promoting Operation Choke Point 2.0 around the middle of 2023, so that's when it all started. Once everyone realized how serious the situation was, there was a lot of pressure on SEC and opposition against them, which caused them to lose ground. When I say losses, what I really mean is victories over the SEC, who was responsible for racking up those losses in their stead. But here's something else that Brad Garlinghouse has given us. At the tail end of July, I brought this up to highlight the importance of our present focus and to remind you of the actions that lead to our recent victory against SEC. Solana, Cardano, and Polygon tokens were earlier demanded by the SEC government to be labeled as securities in their case against Binance. But now the SEC has taken back its request. Thanks to Brad Garlinghouse, more evidence of the SEC's dishonesty has surfaced. According to Chair Gensler's testimony, the obligations are plain to see, but the SEC is unsure of how to carry them out, which is causing even more sector disruption. This lack of clarity could be driven by political objectives or bad faith litigation techniques, rather than a genuine desire to enforce the law. Also, this was shot at the beginning of August, and it's over here. You are all aware that the SEC saw $2 billion at first, but the court reduced their claim by 94% after they acknowledged they had played their hand too heavily. We now have the information necessary to continue growing our business thanks to the court's ruling. The SEC's ban on the XRP community as a whole has been lifted, which is great news for Ripple, the sector, and legality. At this very moment, thanks to Stuart Adirati, Chief Legal Officer at Ripple, we have a final ruling and further information. This is a major statement. The court rejects the SEC's assertion that Ripple acted carelessly, citing the absence of allegations of fraud or intentional wrongdoing and the fact that no one's finances were damaged. She maintains the $125 million fine imposed by the court for certain past transactions to wealthy third parties and rejects the SEC's absurd demand for $2 billion in fines and penalties. If that is indeed the case, they will most certainly be required to pay the $125 million punishment. Nevertheless, there is still more to be discussed regarding this matter. However, Ripple hands the SEC a crushing loss. Please don't think I won't try to gloss over how devastating this is for the SEC squad. Oh, and you know what, we will expand upon this. Institutions we at Smokedog have taken note that Ripple has prevailed in their legal dispute with SEC. Sales of Ripple XRP in the United States will benefit from the 60-day appeal period. The appeal deadline is early October, so please remember that. You will have easy access to this kind of institutional data whenever it is published. Feel free to swing by Smokedog's smoke room whenever you like. He is an outstanding researcher in that area, so I really think you should all listen to him. I've had the pleasure of actually. Wonderful man, we've been conversing. The SEC versus Ripple case has come to a close, but you can see the full analysis of the victory here. In my view, this will lead to its substantial institutionalization, which is beneficial for Ripple and XRP investors. Therefore, I am eager to put it behind us. Institutions are already celebrating this triumph, which is more proof of the appeal's trajectory. Keep an eye out for more SEC news, especially as it relates to XRP. Remember that the lawsuit's primary argument was that the token was in fact a security. What is the point of even bringing this up in today's big update? Marco Centauri officially announced the ruling of the federal court for the Northern District of California, which states that no Kraken tokens are considered securities. A huge triumph has been achieved by Kraken, the concept of clarity, and all users of cryptocurrency. Furthermore, it supports Kraken's long-standing policy of not listing securities professionals. This completely deflates the SEC's position on cryptocurrency assets. In addition, the court found that the SEC's explanation of crypto asset security was vague and confusing. While allowing the action to proceed to discovery, the judge slammed the SEC for using strawman arguments, questioning aloud and in writing why the SEC persists in misrepresenting Kraken's position as requiring a written contract to provide security. Go on with reading. We can't wait to see this proven in the finding, and we know Kraken will prevail in the end. A token is not a security, but agreements surrounding a token could be. This was the primary difference between the Ripple case and Kraken's argument. The SEC will no longer be able to depend on the tokens are securities argument. Going forward, it will have to prove that the Howey test criteria are satisfied for every purported Kraken transaction, but the most important thing is that for every asset's millions if not billions of transactions, the SEC's enforcement-based regulation requires extensive, expensive, and time-consuming discovery. A never-ending loop of legal action. The SEC's failure to effectively regulate cryptocurrencies through enforcement is reinforced by today's ruling. In order to bring clarity to the industry, protect consumers, and support the spread of blockchain technology, Congress must establish a comprehensive market structure framework. We are quite appreciative to the court for considering this matter, and we are especially grateful to the members of our administration who are exerting tremendous effort to see it through. Another judge has decided in the Kraken case that cryptocurrency assets cannot be deemed securities, which is a tremendous win for the cryptocurrency market, and Stuart Adirati has joined in to state the same thing. The SEC's entire approach to regulation relies on enforcing compliance, therefore this is disappointing news for them. The SEC's case against the crypto industry is now completely debunked. Going forward, it will be more harder for them to target specific crypto assets or crypto-based businesses. A tremendous issue has surfaced. In light of their recent legal defeats and the fact that they have rescinded their demands and actions against some of these assets, I think the SEC is beginning to capitulate. Since the SEC has the backing of the big bankers and incumbents, it's likely that they will continue to target this company. Along with all these recent major losses and changes, this enormous Kraken news could be the final straw for the SEC. Your attention in seeing my web video is greatly appreciated. If you're new to my channel and have just subscribed, I appreciate it. Later on, I shall see you.